couple of weeks later and you're in Tully. Can you tell us a bit about how many people were allocated to that area? It was the worst affected area by the cyclone.
We had this was SES, not Fire Brigade, so another uniform, a team, Task Force Lima, sent up from the Gold Coast, Scenic Rim, Logan and Ipswich, so quite a lot of us, 60 of us went up, and we were based in Innisfail and drove to Tully every day because there's nowhere to stay in Tully and no power yet, and then my crew would actually go across to Tully Heads, and we worked there for the whole time we were there. I only had one team there from SES most of the time, but I ended up liaising between the Army, who had several fault lines there, the Fire Brigade, who had quite a few trucks there at different times, the crane truck driver, all the people that came, the volunteers that came down from Innisfail every day with fresh bread and milk, the clinic that was set up there from Queensland Health, the salvos that used to provide breakfast and lunch. It was amazing, all the different things that needed doing, and
how on earth was that coordinated without an utter sense of chaos?
I guess I kind of thrived on that. I didn't expect that.
Is that your dad?
Yeah, that's my dad. I didn't expect... It was a huge challenge, and it was something that normally you're thrown in the deep end like that, you start to struggle. But it just...
You had a case of the Anna Blythes.
Yeah. It was incredible. Just being able to come up with ideas, and that didn't necessarily come from me. Just everything flowed really smoothly. Once we got people, you had to generate a cooperative spirit. Once that happened, then it was fine. There were one or two times it was like, okay guys, let's see how we go here.
All right. So Eva's the diplomat. There have been some news reports about residents getting upset because their particular needs weren't being met. How were those needs addressed? Was there one central kind of hotline, or was it a matter of people coming up to you off the streets?
A bit of both. SES has a number, 132-500, which for storm damage and things like that is what you use. And we used to get requests for assistance, RFAs. So we'd go into an area with a pile of RFAs. I would then look at them and say, okay, my team can't do this, but my team can do those ones. The Army, I'll get them to do those. And we had a very nice sergeant who was really, really obliging and managed to get his boys to do everything just like that. And then, the Fire Brigade can do the pumping of the pools and things because of stagnant water you don't want around and all sorts of things. But, so we did that. But we would also door knock the streets, make sure that, because a lot of people want to struggle along on their own, they don't want to be a burden to someone else. And so we would door knock areas. We would say, are you okay, what do you need? We had the people I said that came in, volunteers, they came in with a truckload of water, so because they're not allowed to drink the water at the moment, they would give everyone a caseload of water. They'd tell them about the services we have available, they'd ask if we needed any more, and so then I would do another pile of RFAs from people on the street. I'd have to do that when I went home as my homework.
So there's paperwork and all of those
like
things.
You wouldn't believe. The thing that amazed me, and same with the floods, every person I spoke to, pretty much, that got onto that kind of conversation said, but there are people that are so much worse off than me. And some of the times you're saying, well, honey, no, actually, not in Australia.
You're rock bottom.
And everyone was wanting to help others, wanting to make sure, that others were all okay. And there was I think it's been a resurgence. Probably no one in this generation or even the previous one has actually experienced anything that is like this, where suddenly they realize material things don't matter. It's people that matter, and we need to be looking after each other, and we need to be giving of our own time and ourselves to each other. And I hope that it changes the culture, because it needs to. But I think I can see a lot of people really taking stock of where their priorities are.
You said something to me just before, and your father, who happened to preach at church this morning and was very good, talked about, in our weakness he is strong. So how does that apply to your work with the SES?
I actually was thrown into a position where I had to make decisions quickly, talk to people who, and tell them what to do, and I got 3 or 4 hours sleep each night, so,
and yet, a cranky pants.
And yet, instead of getting more tired and more exhausted, I thrived. I actually got more and more energy, and I was able to do more and more each day. And I know that wasn't me. And so, in my weaknesses, if I give that up to God and say, Lord, I can't do this, but I feel that you've told me I should, then He provides. And that means that it's not just little old Kim's strength, it's the God of the universe's strength, at which point I can do anything.